This is a review and range report of a AR 300 blackout that I built myself. Before I get into too many details, just kind of go over the purpose of why I built it. I built this particular setup mainly for hunting. I do a lot of deer hunting, very minimal hog hunting, but possibility of occasional hog. That's pretty much my whole reason for this setup and the way that I did it. So I'll just kind of go over what I used and different components and everything, and just go from there. Alright, I bought the upper as a completed upper minus the bolt carrier group. It's a Radical Firearms 16-inch upper with a 10-inch aluminum free-floated handguard. Very nice handguard. I like it a lot. It's slim. You can get a good grip on it. Like I said, I set this mainly up for hunting, so I didn't want any extra rails, quad rail, or anything like that. I just wanted the benefit of a free float handguard with nothing else. Like I said, it's chambered in 300 blackout. Has the 1-in-8 twist barrel, and I added this aluminum. I believe it's aluminum muzzle brake. I just picked this up off Amazon. It's just a cheap, like $20 brake. Actually, I had it on several other rifles, and I had it just laying around, so I threw it on this one. No complaints with it for this setup. Just your standard upper there, forward assist, dust cover, shell deflector. Bolt is just a standard mil-spec bolt, nothing fancy there. The lower is a Anderson multi-cal that I bought as a strip lower, and I did a Palmetto lower parts kit minus the trigger group. So all the parts are Palmetto in the lower, buffer tube, spring, all your detents, everything like that, minus the trigger group. The trigger group that I used in this particular build, I wanted a trigger obviously better for mil-spec, better than mil-spec. Wanted something going to be a little bit more crisp and definitely lighter. Just wanted something, it's going to be used as hunting, and a mil-spec would have worked, but I wanted to get as much accuracy as I could out of the setup. The trigger that I went with was the Ruger Elite 452 AR trigger. It's not a drop-in trigger. You have to, assemble it like a normal mil-spec trigger, but I have no complaints with the trigger whatsoever. It's advertised at 4.5 pounds, and mine, after installed in the gun, broke anywhere from about 3.8 to 4 pounds. It's kind of hard to do it on camera one-handed, so you have to just take my word for it. But I've got my Wheeler pull gauge there, and it's I would say average of 4 pounds, but very crisp. It's a 2-stage trigger, so you got your little bit of take up there, but it's very crisp trigger. Absolutely love that. Like I said, it's got the Radical Firearms forearm, but for my rest of my furniture, I got this on sale at my local store, and since it's going to be a hunting setup, I thought I would just go with something a little bit more different than the traditional black. All my other ARs that I've built or bought are all black. So I had this Magpul Matrix set. It's the Highland camo, and it came with the MOE grip, trigger guard, and stock. It also came with the vertical grip and forearm, which I'll show you. There's the vertical grip and forearm. I'm not a fan of vertical grips. They're just not my favorite. I will occasionally use them if I just have one laying around like this, but generally I prefer the Magpul AFG. And since I wanted a free float to get a little more accuracy, I definitely didn't have a use for the MOE, these handguards. Now, they're decent handguards for what they are. I have them on one of my other ARs, but for this build, I didn't really care to use that. I wanted to go with more of a free float handguard, something a little bit more better, a little more accuracy, and for hunting and everything, I thought it would be a better, and they're both lightweight, but this is actually extremely light in my opinion. So I opted not to use any of that, but it's a little different. Not what I normally would build. I normally go all black, but I still think it looks good, and it definitely functions, and that's the most important. So that's basically the rifle itself. I set this rifle up for hunting. I've shot it with I use strictly PMags, and I've shot it with my 30s and 20s, but mainly I run this rifle with the 10 round PMag installed. I think that's really all you need for hunting. I think the 10 rounds are perfect. I mean, maybe doing some hog hunting, I could see using the 20s or even the 30s, but for the type of hunting I'm going to do, mainly just deer hunting, those 10s are perfect. So that's the basic rifle. The rifle itself, the only other thing that I plan to add is I want to change the charging handle. This is just standard mil specs. I really like the BCM charging handles. I'm just going to show you this real quick. There is a BCM on one of my other ARs. Really like it. Extended. It's just I'll show you here on this one. It's just so easy to manipulate that, and I just really like that charging handle. I like the large. I believe that's the Mod 4. So that's the only thing I need. Well, I don't need it. I just want it, I guess. But I want to get that. That's the only thing. I've got about 2 months before season opens here in my state. So I got plenty of time. But other than that, the rifle is complete. The optics set up, I've just got some, just kind of inexpensive, but I think they're excellent quality. The Nikon P series. It's actually a 2-piece mount. I've got that, and I've got a Bushnell Elite 3x9x40 scope. I've had this scope for years and years and years. Had it on lots and lots of different rifles. Never had a problem with it. It's just a good kind of a good go-to hunting scope for me. I mean, it's not an expensive scope by any means. I think when I bought it about 4 years ago, I think I paid $319, $329 on something like that at my local shop. But like I said, for this setup, I think it's perfect. I'm not going to break the gun down or anything on camera. That's just hard to do. But like I said, it's pretty much all your mil spec bolt and everything. Also, it does have the pistol length gas system in there. I don't know if you can see it, and then right in here you can see through this little window there's your low profile gas block. One other thing, sling wise, I'm just running a cheap Butler Creek. Didn't want to go with a traditional. I wanted to go with a traditional more style sling on this rifle, so I literally just have a Butler Creek sling slung here through the stock with one quick detach in the side of the forearm, which is nice that it has those quick detach points all the way around the forearm. And that's how I sling it to carry in the woods. I just completed this rifle a while back. I've only got a few hundred rounds through it right now. I actually just got back from the range with it, getting it sighted in and everything, getting ready for the season, and it did really good. I was hoping to get around 1 MOA out of it. That's what I was hoping for, and it did better than that. It really surprised me. My intentions with this gun, I mean, it'll be hunted with the kind of hunting I do with this setup. 100 yards will be about the max. Going to use it, hunting in the hardwoods where 50 to 75 yards are going to be more average. The ammo that I shoot in all my 300 blackouts, including this one, is the Barnes 110 grain TAC TX. See if I can get this out here for you, show you one. I love these bullets. That's the one I use. That's all I shoot out of them. I've got some here that I recovered. I got a bunch of them, but I'll show you two here. I mean, they just expand perfectly. They always work and do the job. And you can see there on the box how it's supposed to expand, and they just work. I've taken a lot of deer with other 300 blackouts I've had, and it just works. So that's my build. I'll throw in a little bit more, maybe some pictures and video of some of my groups and stuff. I've got a few shooting videos I'll put at the end. They're not that great. My camera fell over in a couple of them, so nothing special. But I got one or two of my videos, and I've got my couple of my average groups. I'll probably just show one of my groups that was just kind of the most average. But I appreciate you watching, and thanks. Alright, I just wanted to show my group real quick. Once again, just out of my 300 blackout that I was reviewing and showing a little bit of range work of. This was what I would say would be about my average group. It's a 4-shot group. It was at 100 yards. The dot that you're looking at there is 2 inches. just to put it in perspective. See if I can do this on camera. Let's see here. Center to center. I don't know how well you can see that, but kind of shadow, but it's about 0.71. So, you know, trying to do it on camera, but I've measured it in the past. It's just under 3/4 MOA, which I think is very adequate. I had some groups that were just over 1 MOA, and I had some as tight as half MOA, where I was able to just put 3 rounds, 4 rounds in a ragged hole. So I just wanted to show this group because this was about what I would say was my average. So averaging under 1 MOA with me doing my part and everything, I think is, you know, excellent out of this rifle. And I'm very anxious to hunt with it. My girlfriend's going to hunt with this rifle some this year too, and I hope I take, you know, as many deer as I can with it this year, at least the state limit. But I appreciate everybody watching, and thanks. Also, I just wanted to mention one other thing I left out in my main video is the overall weight of this rifle, as you see it, sling, unloaded 10 round mag, scope and all, is 7 pounds 13 ounces. And I'll put a photo at the end of the actual scale, but that's the total weight, which I think is very reasonable for a hunting setup. Also, I wanted to mention with everything I listed in the gun and the type of ammo that I've shot, because that's the only ammo I have shot through this gun, a pretty fair amount of it, I would say. I've had 0 misfires, no failures to feed, failures to jig. I've had absolutely no problems with this gun whatsoever. So I just left that out and wanted to make sure that I included that in the video. Thanks again.